Hey guys, so we're gonna jump right in. I will have plenty more time later in the video to show you what is going on. So first I'm moisturizing with the Kiehl's oil-free gel cream. I am using this all over my face and I'm gonna apply some on my neck as well as on my chest because we're gonna be putting foundation on, body paint, all kinds of fun stuff. And I have a crazy bra tan going on right now. And yes, in case you're wondering, I am wearing a tube top. So we're gonna prime the face with the Dr. Brandt Pores No More. This is my favorite primer at the moment. You don't have to put a whole lot on and it does a really good job of covering up your pores when you do put foundation on. So I am putting it all over my face and my neck and a little bit on my chest. So for foundation, I'm mixing two Makeup Forever foundations. I have the Matte Velvet Plus and the HD foundation. I have no idea where my L'Oreal True Match went, so that's what I would normally use in place of the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus. You only have to put half the amount that you would normally put on your face on the back of your hand because we are only putting foundation on half of our face. So I'm just spreading that out in an even layer, and then I'm gonna go in with my damp beauty blender to blend everything out. To conceal and highlight, I'm using my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I always forget the shade of this, but I will have all the products that I used in this video listed in the bottom description box below. If you've been following my channel, you know that I love to set my under eyes with the Smashbox Halo powder. This is my favorite setting powder. I haven't come across anything else that I love as much as this guy. So use whatever setting powder you have on hand, and then we can move on to the galaxy part, my favorite part of this look. So here I have Glycerin and the Snazaroo body paint in black. I ended up using just water to blend it out. I thought Glycerin was going to give it a more sort of like glossy finish, but just use water. Hold on to your Glycerin until the end because I am going to be using it later on. The water just makes it more blendable and gives it a higher color payoff. So I'm taking that black Snazaroo body paint with one of those inexpensive cosmetic sponges, and I'm just dabbing that all over the entire left part of my face, neck, and chest. This is just going to be the base for our galaxy. You're probably wondering, whoa, we're doing a body makeup tutorial today. I decided to go out of the box and go out of my comfort zone for this look, and I've been really into galaxies lately, and I knew that I wanted to do a galaxy inspired makeup tutorial that didn't involve just doing it on the eyes. So I figured, you know what, it's my day off, why don't we just paint our whole body and just get messy and get creative. Also, I watched that Nicole Guerrero Makeup Forever inspired video a couple months back, and I was like, that looks fun, and I wanted to recreate something really similar to it, but not exactly the same thing. So if you feel like you're getting into a creative vibe and you just feel like painting your body, just do it. It's makeup and it washes off with soap and water, and the nice thing is it's not permanent. So now I'm taking a different sponge and I'm going in with the white Snazaroo body paint. You can find these at Michael's. They're like $5 or $6. They're really inexpensive. So I'm creating sort of the cloud-like parts of the galaxy. This is the base, so when we do put down our colored eyeshadows, those colors stand out a little bit more. All of the eyeshadows that I used on this galaxy are from the Alice in Wonderland Book of Shadows by Urban Decay that came out maybe 5 or 6 years ago. The reason I hold on to this palette is because a lot of the colors in it are just appropriate for galaxies, which I am just currently obsessed with. So there's a purple that you see me using. I also use the shimmery blue in the palette. There's also a black that has some sparkle in it, so I use that to set the rest of the black paint. And then there's a shimmery pink that just makes everything look a little bit more sort of like intergalactic, sparkly. So just use whatever you have on hand. Also too, the nice thing with galaxies is the messier that you make it, the more realistic it looks. So it doesn't have to be perfect. So just to give you an idea of what I'm doing exactly, so I'm taking those white splotches, I'm putting purple in the middle, blending out the edges, and for this look I only use that one brush that you see me using because I didn't really feel the need to use multiple brushes for this look because I wanted it to be super messy and I wanted it to be super imperfect. So just start with purple, blend it out, and then I took the blue eyeshadow just to create that sort of barrier around the purple. But you don't have to use blue and purple, just use whatever colors you're feeling that day and get super, super creative with it. And here I'm going in with that shimmery pink eyeshadow that I mentioned was in that same palette. I'm just using this just to kind of break up a little bit of the blue and purple without taking away the color from the blue and purple. It's a really light, almost translucent sort of pink. It just adds that hint of pink but adds a lot of shimmer. So now that my face is done, I can go ahead and move on to the neck and the chest. I do want to preface by saying that I didn't practice this look at all. This was my first time attempting it, and I was a little bit discouraged when I did the face because I thought at first, this is not what I had originally pictured in my head. But I can say once you finish the chest and the neck, it all comes full circle. It starts to look like a galaxy. And my biggest learning was with this look, you're not gonna stick to your original vision most of the time. You're just kind of gonna get into this creative vibe and kind of wing it. And I'm really happy with how it turned out, even though it wasn't what I had originally planned, and it ended up turning out way better than expected. So I'm just taking that same sponge that I put the black body paint on, and I'm just putting that all over my chest and a little bit on my arm. I'm going back in with that white sponge that had that white body paint on it. Since I'm covering more surface area, I wanted to make these spots a little bit bigger, and I actually wanted the whole galaxy portion to have more color than black. So I'm covering a lot of area with that white paint. And then you can just go in later and blend out the edges so that they don't look super perfect and have those lines from the sponge. So I'm doing the same thing that I did in my face. I'm starting with that purple eyeshadow, and then around the perimeter of those purple parts I'm doing blue, and then you'll see me use the black and that shimmery pink just to create the same look that I did on my face, but just on a larger surface area. And this is the part in the look where I realized, okay, so this look is starting to finally come together, and it's starting to look like a galaxy. So don't be discouraged, just keep on going and make it messy and just make it creative. I even pulled out my phone a couple times just to get reference pictures. I just googled galaxy real quick. So just know that it is all coming together slowly but surely. This look did take me about 3 hours altogether to complete. and just the galaxy part itself took like 2 hours. So if you have just a day to yourself, you have absolutely nothing to do, and you feel like painting your body, give this look a try. You'll probably go out to the grocery store and get a bunch of compliments too. And guess what? The painting and the blending is done. So now you're going to take a toothbrush, use a toothbrush that you know you're not going to use again, and I took the white Snazaroo body paint and I mixed it with some water just to make it a little bit more liquidy. Then I scraped the bristles along my face to create those little stars. So you've probably seen this in like an art project when you were like in grade school or something, but yeah, feel free to put as many stars as you want on our face because we just have so many stars in the galaxy. Did I mention that this look is going to be really messy? So make sure that you're by a sink too so you can wash your hands so you don't get paint on any of your other products. And then once you're done with the stars, we're actually going to move back to the other half of the face. I'm putting foundation on my chest just so I can even out that bra tan a little bit more. You don't have to do this, but the bra tan was bugging me, so I wanted it to be a little bit more even. And I'm just putting a light layer on. I didn't even set it with powder because I was just going to be washing it off later in the day anyways. And the idea with the makeup side was that I wanted to be really simple and very clean, so I just filled in my eyebrows and I put very little eyeshadow on, just a couple brown colors in my crease and then a lighter color on my lid, and then I went in with some false lashes. And the eyeshadows that I used were all from the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. This is one of my favorite palettes ever. It has every neutral that you could ever ask for, and it travels so well. So I went in and just added some things back on the galaxy side. So I put some black eyeliner in my waterline just to even everything out. And then I went ahead and did my lips. So I just put some black body paint on my lips. And then I set it with kind of a combination of the colors that I used. So the blue, the purple, and the pink. Okay, back to the makeup side. So I am just putting those neutrals, eyeshadows in my crease, so the browns, and then just a light color on my lid. It's up to you how you want this side to look. If you want to go full glam, go for it. I just wanted it to be as simple as possible because I wanted all the attention, or most of the attention, to be on the galaxy side. Then I went ahead and just added a little bit of contour to my collarbone, just so it stood out a little bit more. And then my battery died at this point, so I just did a couple things off camera. So I did my lashes, which I will list below the brand that I used, and then I contoured with my NARS Laguna bronzer, and I added a little bit of Orgasm blush onto my cheeks. So this is where I was talking about the glycerin. So I mixed glycerin with a lot of the black body paint that was already mixed with water. My original idea was I wanted to create a dripping effect that separated the clean side and the galaxy side. This was not the best idea because, one, glycerin was dripping into my mouth and it was not the best tasting thing ever, and it just wasn't creating the effect that I was looking for. So you'll see later on how I fix it. Oh, and also too, you'll see later that the glycerin actually dripped onto the clean side of my mouth, so it looked like my mouth was bleeding black, which is coming up in a little bit. But I just continued to go with it because I was like, I have already spent 2.5 hours just painting my body. So we're just going to continue and see where this takes us. But don't worry, I end up falling in love with the whole entire look at the end. So as you can see, the glycerin was dripping onto my clean side, and I was like, well, I guess I can make that part of the look, right? I can just say that it was kind of like the dark side taking over the light side, but I end up cleaning it up later anyways. But what I'm doing here is I'm just creating that, or I guess messing up that line and kind of diffusing it. So I'm just blending it out towards the galaxy side, just so it looks a little bit more like put together instead of just like a stark line in the middle of my body. So I had to keep a sponge in my mouth just so I couldn't eat any more of the glycerin. And then I blended out the black glycerin paint with my blending brush, the same one I used for my eyeshadow. And then that's when I was like, okay, this is it. I am falling in love with this look. So as you can see, I tried to keep the black, but then I was like, I just want to see how it looks without. And then at the end, you'll see that I actually remove it. And then I was like, this is it. This look is perfect. I'm obsessed with it. I absolutely love it. So thanks for joining me, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and got a little bit of inspiration from it. I will see you guys in the next video. And if you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.